Hello, lovely ladies. We're going to learn our second movement dialect move, which I call a Floreo in the blender. And you can see Melody doing this on her homecoming 2016 video that everybody has. But the Floreo in the blender looks like this. Again, starting overhead, like all of the moves in this position where one sword is balanced and one sword is overhead. So I will start with a transitional move. And end. So what I want to do to show you how easy this move is, it looks really beautiful, but it's basically all based on the hand Floreo. And let me see if I can get it back here. I just want to review our hand Floreo and show you how it fits in. Our hand Floreo, we're going to start holding our teacup, turning our hand over, and waving goodbye. Pick up the teacup, turn it over, wave goodbye. And this is our traditional ATS hand Floreo. All we're doing is picking up the teacup down here, bringing it up, and waving goodbye up here. So we're just sort of balancing the sword, pick up the teacup, and turning it on its axis. So it's picking up the teacup, waving goodbye. And then all we're going to add is turning around, which is really easier than you think, because once we get the trajectory of the swords going in that direction, it's just going to take us around. So we're going to do one hand Floreo that's going to end towards the back. The second hand Floreo is going to end towards the side. The third hand Floreo is going to end in front, and as we come down to go into another hand Floreo, after the wave goodbye overhead, we're going to grab the hilt. So it's 3 Floreos and we're going to turn into 2 points. One towards the back, one towards the other side, and one towards the front. So let me show it to you. There are several different ways you can balance the sword. Let me show you first how to cue it. So the first thing, again, we're going to start overhead, and we're going to cue it by the lead putting our hand under the balance point of the sword. And my balance point, and probably yours too, I've got Pakistan written on mine, and I know that my balance point is right around that little word, Pakistan. So the cue is we're starting overhead. The cue is moving your hand into the balanced position and bringing it down into about waist level. And at waist level, you're going to then have to negotiate where the exact balance position is. So you're not going to rush this point, because you're going to want your followers to make sure that they get this, they get a good balance. So you're going to just take your time finding the balance position. You can either hold it with open fingers. I am just used to holding it with open fingers and allowing it to sort of spin on my open fingers. You can, some people hold it between their fingers and the palm of the hand, which may give you a little bit more, may be easier for you to turn the teacup over, wave goodbye. You may introduce your thumb into the back of it in any part of the move. So whatever you're going to do, allow yourself, you may want to put it in the crux of your fingers. Play around, if you're not used to doing this move in other dance forms, play around with where it's going to work best for you. And you're going to have your hand a little bit flexible because as it goes up and down, it's going to, you want to be a little bit flexible as the balance goes. So I usually keep mine fairly open, and I may put my thumb behind it at certain places. And all you do is when you're in this position, you're going to know, okay, so we've come over here, we've cued that the hands go here, the hands come down, and we balance it. Now to cue that the balance is complete, the leader is going to take her left arm and bring it in a trajectory to end at her hip level. So that'll pretty much cue the followers that, hey, okay, we've got it balanced, now we're ready to go. And then when she gets to her hip, she's going to start. And it's usually, you're going to bend a little bit at the waist so you have that, that space to move it in. So that's also going to be a sign to your followers that you've got it balanced, you bring it down, you bend over, and you start. You start the blender moving. And it's a blender because you know how blenders blend things up and down and all over the place. So that's where the word comes from. Hand Floreo in a blender. So when we get here, we're going to take and we're going to turn the teacup over and wave goodbye. And I don't have a good balance right now, so I'm going to get a better balance. It also helps to go a little faster, believe it or not, because it's moving on its axis. So it takes a little practice to get into it. But we're going to turn it over, wave goodbye. Turn it over, wave goodbye. Turn it over, wave goodbye. Grab it at the hilt. So we're going to do 3 floreos, and it's going to be easier as you turn it because the trajectory of the sword is going this way and our body is going this way. So it's it really makes it easier, so that's why I do it. So that's why we're going to do it. So we're going to take and get it balanced, and I will show you the turns. So we have it balanced. I'm going to do a nice cue, jut out my hips, turn the teacup, wave goodbye. Turn the teacup, wave goodbye. Turn the teacup, wave goodbye. And then grab the hilt. So there's no special necessary footwork. I know you can't see my feet. All I'm doing is stepping the right foot over the left, turning, then stepping the right foot over the left again, and turning. Don't really obsess over what your feet are doing. That's the mechanism you're going to be turning by, and use whatever movement to turn to get in that position. And just to look at the angles of where my body is at. So I've balanced it. I've shown that I'm going to jut my hip out, and I'm going to turn the teacup, step, turn the teacup, step, turn the teacup, and grab. So you're going to end up grabbing after you've turned the last teacup over, or after you've waved goodbye for the last time, before you start another 4th turning the teacup over. And from here, how to get out of it. So we've stopped it. What I always do is just say, look at me, I did it, isn't this great? And do a transition, whatever you want, to move into the next. So both of these movement dialect moves are advanced moves. If you're comfortable working with double swords and you've been doing it a long time, and if you're used to doing these positions, these positions. They fit in really well with ATS, with the cues we've developed, and they're really enjoyable. If you don't feel comfortable at this point moving into this form of work with one balanced, one on your hand, don't worry about it because you don't have to be in that section of the dance. For homecoming, you can be in another section of the dance, but it's something to grow with, and I really wanted to show it to you and incorporate it. So thank you, enjoy, and have fun learning.